Thursday, September 16th edition of the Carolina Weather Video. I'm meteorologist Matthew East here with you. A lot's going on in the tropics. I'll get into what's going on with Igor, Karl, and Julia. And plus we'll talk about our weather pattern here. Let's sort of delve into the nation's weather as a whole right now. And we have a cold front stretching from the Midwest back toward the southern plain states. Ahead of that front, you can see this area of warmer temperatures, some 70s in much of Mississippi and North Alabama up toward even southern Indiana this morning. 60s for much of the Piedmont of North Carolina and down into the upstate of South Carolina. And that warmth is going to be a common theme in our forecast. Now here's the wind stream lines across the lower 48, and have an area of low pressure centered up here in the Midwest. Cold front trailing down from that, and we're going to see these southwesterly winds really pick up across the region today, especially here east of the mountains. And probably some breezy conditions, winds gusting maybe over 20 miles an hour at times today. You factor that along with the dry ground conditions and low humidity values, and the fire danger certainly at an increased level today. So try to avoid that outdoor burning unless it is completely unavoidable today. There's the radar imagery, and again, ahead of that front, you have some areas of showers and some rumbles of thunder, but the dry air here is just going to chew that up, and I think it'll be a dry frontal passage for the I-85 corridor, maybe a couple showers in the mountains, and maybe a couple showers, say, east of I-95, but I think Charlotte and Greensboro, Greenville, Spartanburg staying dry. Here's the upper air chart today, this upper level disturbance driving that frontal boundary eastward toward our area. Let's scoot on out to Monday. This is early Monday morning. There goes Igor off the coast. And notice ridging building in over the southern plain states to begin the work week, and then that stretches right over the southeast as we get toward the midweek period of next week. Now there continue to be some signs toward, say, the 26th or 27th or so on into the end of September of a nice trough diving into the eastern part of the country. That would be a wholesale pattern change, and that is a possibility. A lot of the modeling is indicating that as a possibility toward the end of the month, but nothing set in stone as of yet. All right, so let's get into the day-by-day models here. This is today on the GFS, and we're looking at a day that's going to be dry with some high clouds and highs in the low 90s. Very low levels of humidity once again, some breezy conditions. The front presses south of us tomorrow, maybe east of I-95, a couple showers, maybe a shower or two in the mountains, but again, most of the region will see a dry frontal passage. Over the weekend, looks pretty good Saturday, highs in the mid to upper 80s, lots of sunshine, probably some low 90s again by Sunday, with lots of sun once again. Next work week, Monday, looks like upper 80s to lower 90s with lots of sun. Tuesday, sunshine and highs upper 80s to lower 90s. And then everybody back into the low 90s, maybe some mid-90s Wednesday and Thursday of next week. And we'll see if we can get that pattern change in thereafter. Wanted to show you this just as an item of interest way down the road. This is way out of the 30th of September. And the GFS has been pretty insistent on somewhere between the 25th and the 30th trying to pop a tropical system that moves from the Caribbean into the Gulf of Mexico. Some of the other modeling at times has shown that, but the GFS has been the most persistent, so we'll see. I do think, the last 5 days of September, the first 5 or 10 days of October, the upper ear pattern will shift as such to allow for the possibility of a United States landfall if any tropical system does pop. Now, speaking of the tropics, here's the situation today. You have Karl back in the southern Gulf of Mexico, Igor, a powerhouse northeast of the Lesser Antilles, and Julia weakening over in the eastern Atlantic. Let's take them one at a time. Here's Karl. Karl really maintained its structure very nicely across the Yucatan, so there's a good chance Karl can become a hurricane prior to its next landfall, which will be in Mexico. There's the computer model charts for Karl. This is the official National Hurricane Center forecast, bringing Karl as a hurricane to the Mexican coast probably very early Saturday morning. That'll be an inland flooding problem then as it gets into the mountainous terrain of Mexico. Igor has finished an eye wall replacement cycle and is a Category 4 with 145 mile an hour wind to the point I'm cutting this video. And really looks like Igor is going to stay a very significant hurricane. The model guidance is still pretty tightly clustered, and unfortunately, it looks like this is still going to pass very, very close to Bermuda by early Monday morning. This is probably going to have a pretty significant impact on Bermuda. Now, exactly where the core of Igor tracks is still a question mark, but it looks like it'll have a pretty significant impact on Bermuda, and a lot of pretty significant swells up and down the eastern seaboard, but this will stay well east of the United States. And finally, Julia weakening in the eastern Atlantic Ocean. Notice it's lost a lot of that deep convection. This remains a fish storm, and this will turn rather harmlessly out to sea. There's the National Hurricane Center forecast for Julia. All right, so that is it for this Thursday edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Everyone have a great day today, and God bless.